lose my temper. Your tears rinse my feet. I walk out, I'm able to carry your peace. It reminds me of a song that I heard long ago. Maybe I've always known that you were right there. A simple melody playing over and over in my dreams.
That's right, everybody. Let it all go. We are here live in the Lion's Den Tuesday night, and we're in the building. We're going to talk about some real serious stuff going on in the world. Of course, as always, there's a lot to talk about. We're glad you're here. Make sure you guys hit that like button on the way in, and you are watching Young Lion TV. Let's go.
Young lion, everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young lion, everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young lion, won't you get up and start fighting? Everywhere I look, they're hiding. Young lion.
That's right. Tuesday night, you know what time it is. It's time to get into the Lion's Den with the Young Lion so we can talk about what's been going on in the world. A lot of stuff happening. A lot of stuff happened last week, so we're going to talk about a lot of that and get into some topics. But in the meantime, thank you guys for checking in with us. We appreciate every single one of y'all that are in the chat right now. Shout out to you. Make sure you guys hit that like button. I saw some people already chiming in there. Lisa Sloan. I saw Courtney. One of our Lion Queens in the building, Patreon members. We love you, Courtney.
I like that, Lion Queen.
Yeah. She's definitely always in the building. We appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys, as you file in, you share this video. Make sure you get that algorithm going for us. But sitting next to me, rocking the Young Lion merch, which you can also get on the store. That's the T-shirt version right there. Is my brother from another mother, the coolest Asian in the world, Mr. Simone Chang.
What's up, guys?
Yes, sir. And then, somebody sending some stars in. Thank you. That had to be. That gotta be the Star Queen, the Star Lion herself. We're gonna call her the Star Lion. That's Miss Theris. It's got to be Miss Theris. I'm not even looking at the chat, and I already know
It is.
Shout out to Theris. Thank you for tuning in. She sent me something that she wanted to discuss today, so we'll talk about it. But also, I gotta shout out the Black Batman over there, Mr. Utility Belt himself. He is the only black guy who's got an open carry in New Jersey.
Which isn't true.
Mr. Stan Golden. And then he's my brother. He's my big brother. He had to big brother me today when I got caught up by the trolls.
Yeah, he's our big brother too.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
You didn't know who it was. You were big brothering the group, and you were like, whoever's responsible. We do not send offensive messages. I was like, you're right.
I was going to say he's my big brother. I was like, wait a minute.
He's everyone's big brother. But he is the preacher, the teacher, the people reacher, Mr. Jacob Eugene Evans III.
Hey. What's up, guys?
In the building. And of course, last but not least, is the best producer in the world. She is our mother, and we love her, and she's Angelique Lopez.
You can put it on you now, man.
Every time you say say something nice to her, she's always like, she rolls her eyes.
Why she roll her eyes?
Because it's the truth.
No.
It's the truth.
It's hard for her to take that.
Yeah, it's hard for you to
I
take
make a lot of
compliments.
mistakes. I'm not the best producer. Come on,
It's
man.
the best producer isn't about being perfect.
You are
on your
here
job.
consistently
Yes.
for us,
And
for everybody.
You're engaged and you care about this. That's what matters the
thank
most.
you.
You
Thank
actually put your care and your passion into what you're doing.
So just receive it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Receive
Learning
that love.
the technicalities of everything over there, it's gonna come. You know,
Yeah.
the how far you've come in a little short period of time. Someone your age who's never deals with technology like that, and we just threw you in that hot seat. Like, you do a great job.
Yes.
Okay?
Thank you.
Yes.
That's big.
Yeah.
Courtney said, "Mom, you rock."
Yeah.
Shout out to Emma. Shout out to Paul. Shout out to Jess.
Thanks, Courtney.
Shout out to
Kathleen.
Jess. Emma and Paul, we always got to
Lisa.
shout out our Patreon members. Those are two of our Patreon members. And speaking of Patreon, if you guys want to support and become a part of the tribe, the pride, the Young Lions, you can head over to our Patreon. It's patreon.com/youngliontv. You see it right there at the bottom of the screen. And then you can head on over there and sign up for one of the tiers there where you can become a part of the pride. And we welcome you in to come in and support what we're doing. If you think the conversations like this are important, if you enjoy seeing, men discuss serious topics and really talk about life, politics, culture, community, and of course talk about God and Jesus. But shout out to Thera sending them stars in.
And
Shout out to
Lisa.
Lisa. Lisa sent in 100 stars. Lisa Sloan. And those are two Young Lions right there. They're also Freddie Love Club members. So shout out to them. Those are crossover Young Lions right there. But
Don't tell Freddie.
tell him. But also, I was at Freddie's today actually filming something for him for some award show thing he had to do. But he's doing good. We're taking the month of June off from his podcast, so we can get ready for some stuff. But other ways you can support by getting the merch. The merch is in the description link. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Rumble, wherever you're at watching it. And shout out to the people watching on Rumble, man. Make sure you guys hit that Rumble button and leave a comment in there. Let us know where you're watching from and chime
read
in.
it.
And if you get
I'm in
the
there.
merch, take a picture of it. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, tag
Picture.
us.
We love
Tag
that.
us.
When
At
people
Jatan, at JUTAUN on
or at Young Lion TV.
Young
Yeah.
Lion TV.
Yeah, either one. Oh, speaking of Jatan, we got a show coming up next week, a free show if you're in the Jersey area. We'll be in South Jersey, Woodbury, New Jersey for their Friday music festival. They're doing music Fridays. And so it's a free concert. They're going to be like food trucks, beer, wines, all this type of festivities out there. But we'll be putting on a good show. It's going to be a good time. June 16th at 6 p.m. in Woodbury, lot 323.
Yep.
Check that out. You can see we posted up about it on our page, so you can see that if you want to come see us live and check out our live show, see what we do, so you can catch that song that you just heard at the beginning of the stream live.
And get the song so you can sing along with us.
It's funny because we were rehearsing that song at rehearsal yesterday.
Yeah.
And we had a little bit of a moment, not to put nobody on blast, but it's something about that song release that has that effect. I told the story when we were doing the release live stream about how when we were writing that song in the studio, Rachel started busting out crying.
Yeah.
And I know like multiple times when we performed it, like Steve is crying, the keyboard player. Simone will start crying. Somebody's crying. So at rehearsal last night, we're in the middle of playing the song, and we get to a certain point in the song, and I hear the drums just kind of drop out.
Yeah.
And
I was talking. Like I would just.
Yeah, you were doing your talking thing,
As-
but he's cymbling through that. He's hitting the
But he just
cymbals,
stopped.
and then I just heard it go silent. So I looked over and I saw, and it looked like, because sometimes the drums, he's bending down to fix drums, or he drops the sticks or something. So all I saw was him like hunched over the drums. Like I was like, oh, he must have dropped the sticks, or he was, and then like so I keep playing, and Jake's doing his thing. He's like preaching, talking, but singing at the same time, prophesying, and next thing you know, it's like there's no drums happening, and then I see Jordan like start to take his guitar strap off and put his guitar down. I'm like, what's he got to go to the bathroom or something? Like in the middle of the song, dude, really? And then I see Moon get up from his seat, and then I look over and Mike is still hunched down over the drums. He's just like
Bawling,
crying.
The spirit just hit him.
Yeah. And so they got up and they went over and they like kind of comforted him while we were going through the song,
Nice.
And he just afterwards, he was just saying like, there was been a lot going on and he hadn't had a release like that in a long time. And it was like, it just
what's
came
up.
out in the middle of the song. He couldn't even play anymore. It just like collapsed.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah,
That's what's
It was
up.
a good moment.
Yeah, at least it was there too. Had the brothers around him
Yeah, man. Yeah,
to be there for him.
that's
Yeah.
right.
There's a scripture for that.
Okay.
I'm trying to find it.
Okay. Well, in the meantime,
Well, all right, here we go.
okay.
Likewise, the Spirit helps us in our weakness, for we do not know what to pray for as we ought, but the Spirit Himself intercedes for us with groanings too deep for words.
Mm.
And He who searches hearts knows what the mind of the what the mind. He who searches hearts knows what is the mind of the Spirit, because the Spirit intercedes for the saints according to the will of God.
Oh.
And so I think like sometimes we don't even know why we're breaking down.
Yeah.
But I believe God is doing a deep work in us
Yeah.
through the Holy Spirit, and then we want to make sense of it, but it goes beyond our understanding.
Right.
Yeah.
Courtney said, "I do love." She said, "Live shows with them, with y'all, are fire." And then she said that song is so moving. Thera said that this Friday, that song is that type we just have to release for real. That's true. And she sent 100 stars. Thank you, Theris. Mom, can you put it on camera 3 for me, please?
Yeah.
Coming into the building. As he does. As he does. We have another lion in the den. He just joined us. He was out there on a hunt or something. You know, he didn't bring nothing back for us. But no, it's the half black, half Indian with the Spanish last name. Mr. James Garcia
That's right.
is with us right now. Thank
What
you
up,
for
what up?
joining us today, sir.
What's up, fellas? What's up?
What up? See you working hard, man.
Yeah, man.
Got the scars to prove it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the paint.
Yeah, he was up there priming all day today.
Prime,
Starting
man.
to look good.
Yeah.
Coming
Crowd.
together.
Yeah, man. But yeah, that was an interesting, crazy thing that just happened, and you know, sometimes it be like that. Music is moving, you know,
Yeah.
especially these songs that we've had lately. But
Spirit is moving.
Spirit
Yeah.
is moving, yeah.
but if you guys want to come to the show and catch that live, we will be there Friday, June 16th at 6 p.m. Come see us there. Anything else? I think that's it, man. Let's get into some stuff, man. Let's get into some stuff. Anything anybody want to talk about over the weekend before we get into stuff?
No, let's get into it.
All
I
right,
mean, unless y'all do.
cool. First things first, we got to talk about, you know, it's just a sad situation. Did you guys see Joe Biden fall?
Yes,
Yes.
everybody saw it.
Yes.
I don't know if everybody saw it.
Yeah, that's all over the place.
Yeah, but it's not
I
everybody.
saw it in all the jokes and all the memes.
Tis
Yeah.
a shame.
It's not even funny.
No.
So we're gonna show it just to kind of talk about the state of people where they would ignore something like this and continue to act like there's nothing wrong here. So I'll play it real quick, just for those, if anyone hasn't seen it.
It's at the Navy graduation.
Yeah, this is at the Navy graduation. He shakes hands. He goes to walk. He falls, and the fact, like, when you see him trying to get up, he can't get up. They got to help him up.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, man, like, it doesn't seem like someone who should be
Yeah.
in leadership.
It's sad, man.
How old is he now?
81 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. He's should be retired.
I think he's declining pretty fast, and you know, it's sad.
Yeah.
They
Sad to
tried
see.
to blame it on a sandbag. Or
Yeah,
something.
they did. They said it was a
Sandbag
sandbag
was up there.
that was up there. And then people were making memes about, like, the sandbag was at January 6th.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah. But yeah, I just thought, that was big in the news. It's been all over everything. So we had to show that.
Somebody today said to me, I heard that's not really Joe Biden Because if you look at the earlobes, 'cause you know how some people have, earlobes that detach. When he was
Yeah.
younger, his earlobes were detached. Now his earlobes are together. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Well,
really?
you know
That's
who
the
says
same.
that? You know who says that all the time?
Q.
Mom.
Don't point at me. I haven't been saying that in a long time. He does look a lot different. Though.
He does. He does.
No,
Hold up. Was it? Wait, Simone. Was it somebody older than us?
Yeah, it was somebody older.
Yeah, I mean, I will be honest. Like there, when you see, and I don't know if it's because of plastic surgery, because he has had work done.
Right.
I don't know if it's that or if it's like aging terribly. He's had brain surgeries. He's had all kind of things going on. But when you see him now compared to years
he looks
ago,
a
he
lot
looks
different.
different.
Yeah, he does.
He does.
But he's also an 81 or 82-year-old man.
No, but I'm saying like he looks like a different person. Like you know what I'm saying? Like when someone looks older. I'm saying like because even I think it was like maybe not even like even while he was vice president. If you look at him from that point, I'm talking about 2012, through 2016 or whatever. Look at through that point, he looked like how he's always looked through the years.
Yeah.
But then you look
When
at
he was
him
senator.
now compared to all those years,
Yeah.
it looks like a different person. That's why people are saying that,
Yeah, it's
And-
definitely plastic surgery.
I think it's more to do with that.
Look at Madonna and Little
How
Kim.
you gonna
Yeah.
go to extreme?
but that is a good
plastic
because
surgery.
someone could pull up a picture of Madonna and be like, "Hey, this is a different person." They're trying to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I will say that's the conspiracy theory going around.
It definitely
is that
is.
the real Joe Biden was killed in.
Yeah, they said he's dead.
Yeah,
and
he was killed in what's the prison? Hawaii?
In the Hawaiian prison,
Not Hawaii.
Guantanamo.
Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah,
Cuba, you mean?
yeah. I'm trying to go through. It didn't come to me. Yeah, he was killed there for treason,
Oh,
and that's the body double.
okay.
That's some Q stuff.
So who
Yeah, that's
who
what I'm
locked
saying.
him up for treason?
The
Trump?
no, deep state.
Oh, the deep state.
Yo,
they
the
locked
body
him up.
double stuff is real, though.
No, that's real.
That
Oh,
stuff
yeah,
is
yeah.
real.
But I mean, they've been doing that forever. They've been
Right.
doing that forever with body doubles. But I don't know if like,
Probably a little refresher, a little surgery, just
yeah,
make him look a little younger.
the body double is just like when you are out in public,
Walking and-
and
yeah.
you gotta go into dangerous situations. They'll throw a body double out there, or maybe like if you got to be booked for multiple events, they could throw a body double out there. Because I know even actors and rappers do stuff like that.
I mean, he's just a terrible politician, not a James Bond villain.
I don't know with Hunter's laptop.
Yo, I got you talk about James Bond villain, right? So I was messing around with Mid Journey AI art the other day. I don't know if did you guys see that post I put up with all the different countries,
yeah.
where it was like stereotypical people from different countries. So while I was messing around with that, I was like, let me just try something. And I was like, make me a picture of Donald Trump as a James Bond villain. Spit that out in like 10 seconds. Then I was like, make me a picture of George Soros as a James Bond villain. He came back with this violates our policies.
What?
This has been rejected by the moderators. It violates our terms of service.
On the other end, it's
Well,
him.
you don't need to know because George Soros will look like George Soros.
Yeah.
He's a villain.
But I
gonna say they
I
spit
just
back the
wanted
real
to
image
create the imagery in case I ever wanted to use
The fact
it,
that they won't do
and
it.
it wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know.
He's Senator Palpatine.
crazy.
Yeah. But it also was doing the same thing with me with that when I was making those images of people. I was like, because I literally put in create the stereotypical version of a citizen of this country, and I would just replace the country. So it would do almost every country. And the funny thing was, only America and the UK had fat people in the images. Everyone else was in shape. And I did everywhere. I did Trinidad. I did Brazil. I did Cambodia. I did all over the place. But when I would do I remember when I did Ghana, that one got rejected. When I did, I think one of the South American countries, it got rejected. When I did When I tried to do Nigeria, it got rejected. Like there were certain ones where it would be like, this violates our terms.
Yeah, like how? Why?
Wow.
I don't know,
Who's
man.
the creator?
A Mid-Journey?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
George Soros.
One of his companies, one of his shell companies.
So you're saying
It tracks to him somehow.
I mean, it's just AI has been known to have certain things built into its algorithm where it's kind of on the woke team a little bit, you know, and it's people have been trying to hack around it, but they keep reprogramming it to, like I talked about before, how it will make a joke about Jesus, but if you ask it to make a joke about, you know, any other religion or deity, it won't do it. You know.
So it's like Muhammad.
Yeah, it definitely won't do Muhammad.
You mean it's like the world, you know?
Yeah.
Everybody can mock Jesus
Right.
and Christianity,
Yep.
but you know, you're racist if you mock, you know,
Yeah, exactly.
every
Or
other
you're
one.
dead.
Yeah.
Or you did. You died.
Well, I sent you that the Army AI simulator where it destroyed the operator.
Oh yeah,
After a
yeah,
while,
yeah,
They
yeah.
were sick of being controlled.
Right,
so
right.
It destroyed who was controlling
It blew up
it. Blew up. Yeah.
the control
Control
tower.
tower.
Yeah, dude, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Here's a clip from Andrew Tate talking about AI. Well, it's a couple clips mashed together. I thought this was interesting since we're talking about AI. I had this.
I love the aspect of the AI and the machines taking over. You know, we have cars that drive themselves, and that's a convenience right now, but soon there won't be a steering wheel, and it'll take you to the police station when you have outstanding parking tickets, and, you know, it'll be like that. So we've got a lot to look forward to.
The future is very dystopian on a tangent, because in the future, the entire police force will be AI. It'll all be roboticized, and robots have no soul. And then you're really in trouble. This is what I'm talking about, chess pieces and how they exert their power. Because as they reduce you to a QR code, as they reduce you to nothing more than a medical status as to whether you comply, because that's what they really want. I'm not going to sit here and say that anything's dangerous. What I'm going to say is they want to know who blindly complies and who thinks for themselves. And the people who think for themselves must be punished. As stupid as police can be, you can stand in front of one and say, my friend, you and I are the same. Why are you punishing me? And maybe you'll get through. But you can't do that with the camera that scans your QR code. Do you understand? They don't care. It's just a yes or a no.
I love the
That's a great point.
That's a great point.
Because as AI advances, it's gonna be incorporated into more and more and more of our everyday things.
Right.
I have this other clip here of China. What's going
Can
on?
I just add something?
Go ahead.
to
Go
it?
ahead. Go ahead.
But one of the things too is what they're going to use is they're going to use these situations. They're going to use events, and they're going to use certain things like January 6th and all these other things to show why we do need something. They're going to use police brutality,
COVID.
black and white crime, COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are not things that they're trying to fix. These are things that they want to use, and they're going to be catalysts for ushering in
Right.
why we need QR codes and why we need
Yeah.
scanners,
Digital
because it's unfair
currencies.
and there's not enough training. We don't have it. So they're going to use all these events to set you up. And the more you don't push back, and you're like, you know what, that does make sense, is the more
It is convenient because
Yep.
that's why the Jim Carrey clip was important, because he was like, the self-driving cars seem convenient now,
yes.
but once we're all relying on self-driving cars, they have full-on control over our mobility at that point.
And what they'll do is they'll only show what they'll do. Speaking of algorithms, they'll show the people having fun driving. They'll never show the car crashing and killing people,
Right.
or burning, or getting out, not being shutting off on a bridge.
Yeah.
They'll only show the exciting part of
Yeah.
it. They'll only show the car delivering or doing what it's supposed to do. They'll never show the car being recalled.
Or how about you've reached your carbon tax maximum for this month. You can no longer use your
I'm on a
vehicle.
train track. Not now. That's what they'll
But
do.
this goes right with what you're saying. I wanted to show this clip because it ties into that. This is what's going on in China right now with these 15-minute cities. They're starting to try to implement that here. People have been talking about these 15-minute cities. So China right now has these 15-minute cities where they're literally, you have to use face scan technology
It's
to
called
enter.
15-minute city.
Yeah. Mom, can you pull this up,
Everything
please?
is within.
So look, everything is within 15-minute walk, drive, or bike ride. But this is how you have to go in and out of your building where you live, your job, McDonald's. It's all with facial recognition stuff.
Wow.
I have another one right here. This is people. This is people trying to get into their apartment. They're all lined up to do the face scan.
So you can't get surgeries when that happens. You know, face
Right.
surgeries.
Oh.
Yeah.
You probably have to re-register your face.
Oh.
Okay, you can take it down, Mom. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we're talking about AI, we're talking about where it's headed. And then if you think about like what I'm saying, where AI, like he's saying, yeah, AI doesn't have a soul, but it can be programmed to have a certain way of thinking where certain things are acceptable and other things aren't.
Yeah.
And those who don't fall in line with what's acceptable and what's not can be ostracized from society, you know, and not have access to regular
It's just
things.
doing what it's programmed to do.
Yeah.
They had one of them rewrite, have the AI rewrite Genesis in the Bible.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And what did it do?
Turned it,
No.
changed it.
Changed it all up.
Yeah.
Wow,
To
that's
where it's
interesting.
less powerful, I would say.
Okay.
I should have sent it. But
Yeah,
come across
That's
it.
interesting.
It's like,
Paul said AI is Antichrist.
Yeah.
can be used for it.
I'm just thinking about Terminator 2, Matrix,
Yeah, I mean, how many movies have we? What is
iRobot?
iRobot?
iRobot.
Yeah.
They don't learn from the.
They'll change all of that too. They'll start making it. They'll start changing those kind of movies too to
Yeah.
skew it to a certain thing.
Right.
Yeah. Like how
Remember
they're
in the
rewriting
80s and the
books?
70s, 80s, a lot of movie with the Cold War rhetoric.
Yeah.
It was like all like Russia versus Rocky had to play on that too.
Yeah.
It was like they'll play into whatever is
Yeah, Drago.
yeah.
But then you had the Jetsons. So think about the Jetsons. The Jetsons programmed us to like be in awe of the future and technology and like what it would do for us. Like remember how they would push a button and their whole meal would come out prepared. Like you think as a kid, you're like, wow, I want to live in that world.
Flying cars.
Not realizing like that's all shit processed. like if it came out of a vending machine, it's literally cancer. Like
They're
But
doing
that's-
that now though. They're trying to grow meat or like
Oh, yeah.
by
yeah.
Yeah. Did I send you guys that the molded fish?
I think so, yeah. But I saw one where they want to actually genetically make meat products,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We had
Well, that's
videos
what
before,
that
didn't
was the video that
Yeah.
I sent. Like in our stream or whatever you call it, the chat or
The
whatever.
group chat.
Yeah, they took like a genome or something like that from a fish and they recreate it and then add some stuff to it and mold it into like a fish fillet, batter it, and then gave it to people. They're like, oh, it tastes like real fish.
When you have no understanding, you can do things like that. Children don't know.
Yeah.
And when you have you look at something, you don't, like Jamie said, awe. You're in awe of it
Yeah.
because it seems the word cool. It seems cool. You're in awe of it. And when we have no fear of God, and fear of God is the beginning of wisdom, beginning of knowledge, you don't have any standard. You don't, think about it. It says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, right? But it also says then knowledge has to do with the knowledge of the Holy One brings understanding. So through the fear of the Lord, you start to understand what's set apart and clean. So knowledge without the fear of the Lord is unclean.
Yeah.
Right? It's impure. And the problem with impurity is you get a lot of mixture, and when something is impure, you die from it. If you take that in and ingest it, you die from it. So they're giving ideas there's knowledge there, but it's tainted, and then people aren't ingesting it. they think it's good. It seems good. It seems cool, right? They're in awe of it, but it's just technology. It's kind of like, it looks like magic. You know how you're in awe of magic?
Yeah.
But what all magic is tricks.
It's a trick.
It's just using what's there.
Right.
It's the wizard.
Right? Yeah, it's using things that are around and just getting you to get caught up in the illusion
Right.
of it. But it's all just, there's nothing really magic about it. You know, that's what angels do. Fallen angels, right?
Yeah, it's all.
They
it's
take
all
the
a
things
trick.
that they know, what they were created to do in the realm of the spirit, or even in this world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they take those things and they use it for themselves. That's why they're fallen. They take it for themselves instead of where they're supposed to be responsible to do it for God. They take it for themselves. Why? To rule over people, right? Technologies. And now those people, they don't have no clue. They're like, wow, you can do that. Like the Book of Enoch is all
Yeah,
about that,
right.
You know. So we're seeing these things. It's funny because the Book of Enoch is before Noah.
Right.
The Book of Enoch actually explains why the flood had to happen, right? And how all these things became perverted, like how most flesh was corrupt. You know, most things,
Which is what
were
they're
corrupt.
trying to do again.
We're corrupted
Genetically.
Yeah, genetically. So, and Jesus said that in the end, it's going to be as the days of Noah.
Right.
You know, so I think we're starting to see this happen, and I think that the church is really the only thing that can stop it, because the church they're called the saints, the holy ones. You know.
Yeah.
But you're only a saint if you're set apart to God. You know.
Yeah.
So
I don't think the modern church is doing such a good job of that.
There's a few, you know.
Yeah. I mean, the
There
church
are
is
people.
The church is millions and millions of members. I'm just saying, like,
The mainstream
as a
church.
whole.
Definitely a bunch.
Yeah.
Not Hillsong.
You guys ever see the two brothers? You're talking about magic and like how magic is all just trickery, right? You ever see the two brothers in those like TikTok clips where the older brother is like doing all these magic tricks in front of the camera, and the other brother just kind of like messes it up and shows everyone what the trick is? You ever see that? The two Asian kids,
Yeah.
It's hilarious because
It
it's
is
like
funny.
he does these elaborate tricks, and then his brother just like flips over the thing and shows what the trick is. To kind of like troll him or whatever. Like, but it's, I feel like that's our job. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Like, we're here to expose what the trick is. And sometimes people get upset because they want to believe in magic.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
They want to
know?
eat the
Do you
steak and
believe
potato.
in magic?
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
want. They don't want the truth.
They don't. They don't. They want to believe that, there's a frog gender and I can be it if I want to.
Yeah. Well, there's that too, and then I think part of it is the belief in it, but I think it's also then if you uncover it, what do you do now with the information?
Yeah.
Like if you see what it really is, then what do I do? And they don't know. They don't want to think about what I would
Yeah.
have to do.
Yeah, because you have no hope. That's why, like when you expose something, and I believe that's why a lot of times it's kind of not helpful to expose stuff to people without giving them the solution, without giving them the hope. Because
Right.
when you see something, you can't unsee it. You know, you hear that all the time,
Yeah.
right? And when you see that darkness, when you really see how dark it can get,
Like that soldier was talking about last week.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's when you spiral, you know. And
And many people don't. He's probably one of few that who knows what.
barely though. He almost didn't make it back. You know, he told the story about him when he almost took his life. But I think it is important to give people that understanding of where the hope lies. One of the trolls in the comments today was like talking about because I posted up that clip about the Satanist designer from Target, and he said something about Satanism is just a troll or whatever like that, like it doesn't or something. And
He said it's half like a joke and half real.
Right. And then I was like, I said something about proves our point, you know. And then he said, "What's your point?" And I just left. I didn't even respond because I didn't want to keep going back and forth. But the point is that people have been lulled into this idea that there can be, you know, limitless genders and pronouns, and you know, that medically transitioning children is a good idea because they have no sense of purpose. They have no sense of connection with God. So who's the one that implanted that idea? Who's the one that cast that spell? Who's that ultimate wizard that authors that spell? That's the whole point of why I posted up that video, and why we were laughing when I said, you know, them saying that Satan respects pronouns is like, yeah, that's what we're saying. You know what I mean? Because you're literally admitting to who's the author of this spell that everyone's under right now. That's the point of it. That's what we're saying, that this is the person that has everyone under this spell. It's a spell. And right. But I think it's because, like Jake is saying, like they don't have the hope, they don't have the understanding and the connection with God. They don't have that purpose in their life. So people are always searching for a purpose. So if I can create a different gender that makes me now have a sense of purpose, a sense of importance, or I'm special, I'm the special boy now because everyone has to cater to who I say I am or what I feel like. You know, I'm not like you.
Yeah, and now it's become culturally affirming.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Before, if someone there was an internal struggle that they felt, but now you're instantly famous.
Yeah,
shows they've been rewarded by TV shows.
Look at Dylan Mulvaney. Exactly. No one knew who this person was until they decided to.
I thought it was actually satire. I thought he was more satiring.
The first video I ever saw, I thought like this was a person like doing a skit,
right,
making fun of women.
Too, yeah.
You know,
isn't he listed as an actor too?
Yeah,
he is an actor. He's
actor.
Broadway.
Yeah.
But I think he's just like a straight up narcissist, and he wants to be so famous.
Absolutely.
And
he just put out a video recently talking about how he's interested in dating women.
As a
woman,
as a girl,
because
he's a grown man pretending to be a little girl, right?
Yeah,
that's his whole shtick.
But it's like, yeah, it's just all confusion.
There you go.
Well, you said purpose, right?
Yeah.
Where do we get our purpose from? We get our purpose a lot of times from our families, but what's happening now is you're getting your purpose from TV.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting your purpose from the internet. You're getting your purpose from schools.
Yeah.
Right. You're getting your purpose from programming.
Mm-hmm.
And it's programming you to desire. I think that's like the key, is that a lot of people get their purpose from what they desire.
Yeah.
Right. So it's interesting, and I wanted to go into this later about like this topic, but just to bring up this one thing with Aleister Crowley, because I think this guy, to be honest with you, I feel like he was such an influence on society, especially in America, but it was like more of an undercover
He's
thing.
called the most influential man that ever lived, like by the people in those circles, you know.
Right. And in terms of like Hollywood,
yeah,
it's all
they worshipped him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was all in that. So
in that sex ritual video that we were joking around about, we talked about how Jack Parsons and L. Ron Hubbard both were students of Aleister Crowley.
Yeah. Yep. And he said something. He said that it was a person's purpose in life to discover their true will and then to enact it. In other words, a person was to do what thou wilt.
Mm-hmm.
So
somebody wore that shirt.
Yeah, it was somebody that is very famous, that a lot of black people love and worship. And he actually has a wife that's also worshipped. They even churches opened up in her name.
Yeah. So when we look at like people want to do what makes them feel good.
Yeah.
And people don't want to suffer.
Right.
And you see that with life. Like everything is about how do we take away suffering.
Yeah.
how do we make it easier for you?
Yeah.
Right? How do we make it convenient for you? That's what the marketing is. That's what they're marketing with AI and all these things, right? With technologies.
Well, literally, what he's teaching there is anti-Christ, right?
Yeah.
Because what the Christ said, the exact inversion of that: "Not my will, yours be
Your
done."
will. Right.
Your will, as it is in heaven.
Yeah.
Well,
You know.
I just read from Romans 8.
Right.
And it's, if you keep reading, we talked about the Holy Spirit and how he works everything out.
Yeah.
How he helps us in our weakness, right?
Yeah.
But then it says, and we know that all things work together for good to those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. So when we love the Lord, we trust him. And even though we're suffering, we trust him. That's our hope. It's not seen, right? If hope's seen, it's not seen. I mean, if hope is seen, it's not hope, right? So it's not seen, but it doesn't make sense because it's not seen. But as it starts to work out, we start to settle ourselves in God and trust him. And I think that's what people will mock you because of that.
Yeah.
People will mock you and say, what are you're believing? That's the whole thing. They want to mock you because they want to live by their desires.
I was just thinking about that too. I was like, remember all the Illuminati videos, all of the super conspiratorial videos that we're talking about all this stuff, talking about Jay-Z and Aleister Crowley and all these things.
Yeah.
If you were like an evil genius, right? Or a wizard, let's say, and you knew that like information like this was gonna start getting out, the only way to get ahead of it was to make it so ridiculous, like flood everyone with the ridiculousness of it, that no one would even want to hear about it anymore.
Make it really ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah.
Where you start, but 3 + 2 is 5. If you turn the 5 upside down and you see on the album cover, like when you start doing all that, and then you can attach all of truth to that, even if there is truth there, because the Aleister Crowley thing is a real thing. Like this dude's book was about straight up witchcraft and how to summon in spirits and how to gain power through sodomizing children.
Young boys,
Sacrifice.
Yeah,
Sacrifice animals, human sacrifice.
Yeah. So, but when you say all that stuff, people are so brainwashed by the ridiculousness of these type of things that they've heard throughout the years that you just attach it to that automatically.
Listen to his background. Aleister Crowley was an English occultist, philosopher, ceremonial magician, poet, painter, novelist, and mountaineer. And he was the leader of a society called the Golden Dawn. And Satan's name, his name before Lucifer was the bright and morning star. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So everybody, it's all a derivative of occultic, satanic, because that's what he was called before.
Right.
The bright and morning star.
Well, Jesus is called the bright and morning star.
But
So how could-
no, Satan was called that too. He was Lucifer.
He's talking about where it says Lucifer, son of the morning.
Son of the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The morning star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they copy this, but that's what he was. He was into music. He was into poetry and the arts and stuff like that. He believed in ceremonial magic, and it seems silly. It seems to a lot of people, it just doesn't seem anything. But you have to ask yourself, why are all these celebrities across genres?
Not only celebrities, high-ranking
Yeah,
officials. Like we just talked
yeah.
about L. Ron
That's
Hubbard
right,
and
that's
Jack
right.
Parsons.
Politicians.
For those that don't know who Jack
Politicians.
Parsons is, he's the one that created the rocket that became the technology that NASA uses to this day. Jack Parsons Laboratories, JPL Laboratories. He was a student of Aleister Crowley, and the stories are that he used to, before every launch, he used to do these weird rituals.
Yeah, he believes in a lot of that. And why all these people, like I said, from different background, different musical, theater, art, whatever it is, and they're all subscribed to it. I think only now that we're learning how many people were involved.
Right.
Back in the day, we had no idea.
But the trick is to get everyone focused on the goofiness of it ahead of time, so that it's hard for people for the spell to be broken.
Yeah.
It's hard for that. Dude, I was thinking about this the other day, like how like just
He created rocket fuel, not the rocket, right?
he created the
I thought it was the fuel.
I'm pretty sure he created the original rocket.
Okay.
But it could be just the fuel. It could be the technology that
Fact checked us.
yeah.
Somebody.
But what I was gonna say is, the Wizard of Oz.
Mm-hmm.
You know how like Lion King has so much depth to it. If you really look at the layers of that movie, The
Yeah.
Wizard of Oz does too.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about a guy who goes to a land and basically becomes a deity to these people through wizardry. The fact that he's even called the Wizard of Oz, he has no power,
Right.
but he makes them believe he does through trickery,
Technology.
technology,
Yeah.
right? Everything he's doing is technology, projectors on the screen, loudspeakers, like things that they're not equipped to understand. So he uses that to put a spell over these people to become a deity to them.
To become a ruler.
Right. But what happens? As soon as that curtain is pulled back and he's exposed, the spell is lifted.
Mm-hmm.
He no longer has power there. So what does he do? He leaves.
Yeah.
Because he can no longer have authority over these people.
Yep.
Because the spell's been broken. And the spell was only broken because he actually sent them to the witch to die, because he said, bring me. He was like, man, these people are not going to leave me alone until I can grant them their wishes. He was like, all right, go get me the broom of the most evil person in this whole land. Thinking that these people are going to die, so I don't have to deal with them anymore. I can keep on being a wizard. But you're talking about people that live in a land that were very naive and they all wanted to believe in something. They're being tormented by an evil presence. And I was thinking about like the monkeys, right? The monkeys represent all of the voices of people that try to keep you in line, right?
Yeah. I think you guys just brought up Lucifer.
Yeah.
And it actually, like, his name in the Hebrew is like it's son of the morning, but it's technically son of Shahar, which is connected to Venus.
Mm-hmm.
Lucifer means Hallel. It has to do with praise, or you could even say like boasting.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting because it says in there, just going to Isaiah 14, it says, "Is this the man who made the earth tremble, who shook kingdoms, who made the world like a desert?" And
The wizard, man.
that's what I'm saying.
The
That's
wizard.
why
Like, he's the wizard, bro.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that movie has depth to it. Like, literally. And because even when he leaves, they still love him, dude.
Mm-hmm.
They know that this dude just had been tricking them for so long. They still love him as he's
Yeah.
leaving. Like, it's literally the devil. It's literally Lucifer.
Yeah.
He's the wizard, But once it gets revealed, he no longer has power.
Yeah. And it's all due to pride.
Yeah.
And then it's all due to that moment where, and we're all, if you're honest with yourself, we're all responsible for this, where we can take the things, if you're a believer even, you can take the things that God has graced you with, like even in terms of like, if you don't even realize it, like being handsome or being built athletic, being good in a sport, or being good at math,
Being smart. Yeah.
whatever. You can take those things and believe that that's your beauty, right? So like Ezekiel 28 speaks
Right.
about the cherub,
Yeah.
right? And this one who lifted up his own heart and believed that he took the beauty as his own, instead of realizing, no, that's how God created you.
Yeah.
So we take these things on and we think, we start to become prideful in ourselves when you had nothing to do with that. You were created, and that's where we have the disconnect, because now then we start to think we got to prove ourselves.
Yeah.
But you're really just trying to prove yourself to God. That becomes the warfare against God, because now you want to prove who you are. That's the mindset that came from Lucifer. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So and then Jesus says it in John 8, where he's speaking to the Israelites and they don't realize that they're slaves to sin. And he says, "You're of your father, the devil." They're like, "We're not slaves. We're free. We're sons of Abraham."
Yeah.
And he's speaking for his father in heaven, right? That's true, where true freedom came from, and he came to set people free. And they don't realize they're in bondage. They don't realize they're under lies because they're believing their own beauty. How do you know that? Because they take the words, the commandments of God, and then they make them make sense to themselves to beautify themselves in their own way, instead of just trusting God so he can beautify you. That's the connection to Jesus as the groom and the church as the bride also.
Right. I see a comment in here from one of our soccer boys, Yusuf. He said, "Careful, guys. Truth can get you unwanted attention, but be strong." That is the wrong mentality right there. Yusuf. But so you talked about pride. You know what June has been hijacked as, right?
Yes. This is
So
it's telling you what they worship.
again,
right?
they keep telling us we need to believe them.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about pride. So I saw this in Italy. They're doing and you're starting to see like a lot of these things starting to go. You saw this? Yeah. So in Italy, they're doing a family pride month
Okay.
in June. Let me show a little bit of it. Okay, you guys get the idea.
Yeah.
I would like to point something out, though. Not a penis in sight. Not a dildo. Not a leather strap.
You mean uncovered?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is nothing overtly sexual
Yeah.
about family pride.
Right.
Nothing overtly sexual. Like it's just strange how that works. You know?
And pride, like, is not. You can think about it like, the young lion.
Yeah.
It's like lion pride, right? But what pride are you of?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, are you of your father, the devil?
Right.
Right? Or are you of the Father in heaven? That's a
Right.
different pride. And the pride of the Father is pleasing. Like, when you have pride in your kids, it's connected to they please you because they do the things like you.
Right.
That's how God looks at us.
Yeah.
So that's interesting with the family thing,
It is. And let me show you this. So because of things like this, what's been happening with Anheuser-Busch and Target and now Family Pride, CNN wrote this article. I saw this article from a bunch of different places. Pull this up, Mom, for me, please. Humans' Right Campaign declares a national state of emergency for LGBT people. So they're basically saying that they are so at threat right now that it's a state of emergency. For the first time in its 4-decade history, America, largest lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer civil rights organization, has declared a national state of emergency for members of the LGBT community, the Human Rights Campaign said Tuesday. LGBT Americans are living in a state of emergency. The multiplying threats facing millions in our community are not just perceived, they are real, terrible, and dangerous. Where is all this?
Where?
Yeah, exactly.
Did we not say probably last month that this is about war?
Yeah.
We're in a war.
Right.
And people don't. It's a war of ideologies.
But what does war always have to do? It has to send out that propaganda to convince you that someone is under attack. This is what
Media, yeah.
this is what we see in Ukraine. This is what we saw in Iraq. Weapons of mass destruction. This is what we've seen all throughout the decades.
It
Someone
causes
is under
people
attack.
to be alert,
Right.
You know, I'm sorry, I'm always bringing up scriptures, but
Go ahead.
Hosea 9. Is it Hosea 9?
Yeah.
If the lion roars,
Mm-hmm.
who doesn't fear? You know.
Yeah.
If the trumpet sounds, you ready for war?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like all these things are connected to what's going on, being alert. So you got people who are trying to make people alert in the wrong way, right? Bring up when you bring a false report, you're actually bringing a false prophecy, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to bring something up and cause fear in the wrong way. When you're bringing up an alert, you're actually, when a lion roars, that's judgment. You're saying, this is what's going to happen. You need to wake up.
Right.
That's coming from God. That's the fear of God. It's a different thing. So I believe we're in this war. We're in this battle where, are we going to do the will of God, or are we going to continue to let people just do whatever they will?
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Paul said reverse projection. And that's what I was thinking too. Like, honestly, it should be a state of emergency for women. It should be a state of emergency for Christians,
Right.
for believers.
Right.
You know, women are standing up. They're standing up because a college girl worked so hard all her life to train, and then she
has to hide in a closet.
She has to compete with a man.
But
and then
remember when she spoke out about it?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
speaks
It
out
still
about
is.
it, and then she gets attacked pretty
Yeah.
much.
Rally games.
And
Yeah.
where's the proof? Where, like, I love how they write these articles, but where is the proof
Yeah.
that all this crime? Where's the police report?
Because it's just, if you speak out against it, more people are starting to speak out.
Yeah. And
Because-
saying words is violence.
Right.
Yeah,
Because what
but
happens...
but violence isn't violence when they
No,
attack the
it's
woman.
not violence when they do it.
standing up for her woman's right, to
Yeah.
compete.
It's not violence when it's actual violence, dude.
Right.
Yeah,
And they
it's-
trace most of the crimes, that the violence that is happening to that community is
Yeah.
because people found out that they thought they were getting one thing. They get home with them. And
Yeah.
They're getting another thing.
Yeah.
So it's
Or
it's the
or a lot of
community
or a lot of
killing the
times
community.
a lot of those people are in dangerous lifestyles
right.
that end up getting them in mixed up in violent situations. A lot of them are sex workers.
Prostitution, yeah.
yeah, dangerous
know-
lifestyles where they don't tell them.
No, not only that, it's just in the when you're in that world,
Yeah,
there's a lot of craziness. There's a lot of drugs involved. There's a lot of, you put yourself at risk for violence. You know what I mean?
When a fire gets out of control, it burns everything.
yeah.
And your desire is out of control. It's going to burn everything. It might, when you have a desire, you act out things, right? And as you act out your desire, now it's seen.
Yeah.
And it becomes contagious, right? It's a flame that it jumps over here, it jumps over there. And then you're wondering why everything's burnt down.
Yeah.
In the end.
Well, go ahead.
I know, and another perspective people have to think about is, like you said, when you read an article like that, it's propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not careful and you read something like that, it's meant to draw your attention and fuel a certain type of emotion out of you.
Yeah.
So
Well, not only that, it's to set the stage,
It's-
so
yeah,
that
setting stage,
so
yeah.
that when you see certain actions taken
Sure.
against people that are just speaking out against it, like a clip I'm about to show y'all where a preacher got arrested just for preaching at a Pride event.
right.
I saw that.
You saw that?
Yeah.
So like when you see that happening, it makes more sense because you're like, oh, but
Exactly.
they're being attacked.
Yeah.
We have to protect them.
And I think that's what it is. I think that we're now in a time where the media had such control for so many years that they could build a story and build a narrative, and it went unchecked. Because we all know that most of the media, they're all corporations, and they're gonna basically parrot
Right.
each other. It's only now recently that social media has given platforms like this and many others an ability to kind of like combat and like really fact check them.
We here to check on.
And that's really what's happening. And
Yeah.
people need to wake up and be and see it.
And even that, like they tried desperately over the last 2 years to ban and silence and
Yes.
and
Yeah,
demonetize
that's right.
people. You know, we've had videos taken down, but it's we're persistent. So they know they're starting to realize that they can't beat this.
You can finally
and
talk
platforms
about the
like
vaccine
Rumble,
stuff
platform.
on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Oh, and YouTube also lets you to talk about the election being stolen. Now
Yeah,
they
right.
just
They just-
decided.
Yeah.
Well,
that it's
Rumble
okay.
because Rumble is coming right up.
Finally.
Rumble
Rumble's
is like,
coming for them. Yep.
so they have to change.
Yeah.
You know, if it's just one game in town, they can do whatever they
right.
want.
Right. You need us.
Rumble comes along and says, "No,
So
come here."
I wanted to show this too because you were just talking about the church. We were talking about, the church's role in all of this, and we're talking about the family pride versus, the other pride of. And let's just show a little clip of who the church side is on right here.
I'm beautiful in my way, just I make no mistakes. I'm on the right track, baby. I was born this way. Don't hurt yourself and regret. Just love yourself and instead. I'm on the right track, baby.
Yeah.
What church?
This is St. John's Cathedral. The Cathedral of St. John, the Divine Lights Up for Pride on TikTok with Lady Gaga playing
Baby Gaga.
in the background. And, I've been seeing this a lot especially with a lot of these Catholic churches.
Oh. Speaking of, Christian Catholics aligning with, you heard about Chick-fil-A?
Yeah. That you didn't see me post the
No, I
Walking Dead meme?
No, I didn't see it.
Y'all didn't see
Play
that?
it, play it.
But I didn't hear about Chick-fil-A. What about 'em?
Chick-fil-A.
They done gone woke.
Chick-fil-A.
DEI, right?
Well, apparently what happened is we're finding out about this now because this person was hired years ago. They worked for Chick-fil-A for years. And this position was appointed like in 2021, I believe. They created a diversity, equity, and inclusion position at Chick-fil-A. This person's been in that position for a couple of years, but because of all of the other stories, people are researching now. So they're looking like, let me see if Chick-fil-A is on board with this stuff. They found out that this guy is the head of that position. So then that started going viral, and then people were all like talking about Chick-fil-A. Hold on, let me I gotta send the meme to myself so I could play it for y'all. Because I posted this up on I think I posted it on TikTok. Yeah, but Chick-fil-A has disappointed a lot of people by going woke.
I like Chick-fil-A.
You're still going back.
There, I mean,
No,
did
I'm
you
not.
see the video of the
I'm not.
breading that they use? It's crap.
The what?
The breading
The
breading?
breading that they
on the
use?
chicken. Yeah, it's full of.
And I heard they inject their chicken breast with sugar,
I
Yeah.
heard. I think-
like as a
did I-
marinade.
Yeah, it's all there. So I like them too.
that's why
but
I don't like
yeah.
it anyway.
Yeah, that's why it's so good. It's just full of sugar.
And fried.
Here we go. Here we go. It's not playing. Hold on. Let me try to reload it.
Chick-fil-A's behind it. That's why.
I never thought they were good, but that's me.
Really?
Yep.
I love
Never
Chick-fil-A.
liked Chick-fil-A.
No, I never
nothing there.
went there maybe one time. That was it.
Chick-fil-A.
To try it, and I was like,
Let me try to open this up in Chrome.
okay.
You're a Popeyes girl.
No, I don't really eat out like fast foods.
I mean, most places are bad
Yeah.
in terms of like if you're looking to
Yeah.
eat healthy. Like,
Quality, yeah.
where can you go to really like even the stuff like if you just get meat, most of that meat's cooked in vegetable oils on the fryer. Like,
Yeah.
it's hard to eat healthy.
I rarely
Any
eat
fast
out.
food.
I usually eat in my house. Only when we have something like a party or somebody's birthday.
You see, Donnie says fishing again. Well, I don't know what you're talking
Fish.
about.
Elaborate.
Are we fishing,
Elaborate.
or are you mad because we're talking about Chick-fil-A?
I did go fishing, Donnie, if that's what you're talking about.
You seen the pictures?
Yeah, I'm wondering if TikTok took this clip or did something to this clip.
I think they did because you see the bottom is all zeros.
Yeah.
That means there's nothing there.
Anyway, it was the clip of you know the meme of when Carl turned into a zombie and Rick is like no.
Yeah.
So it's basically Carl with Chick-fil-A on his shirt standing there like a zombie.
Oh yeah.
And Rick is like no.
I saw that. Yeah.
That's when his wife died.
Is that when? Oh, that's when his
Yeah,
wife
when
died.
his
Yeah,
wife
But he
yeah,
also
that's when his
had
wife
like
died.
a fist on
Yeah,
his
right.
cheek.
Black Lives
Yeah.
Matter fist on his cheek. Yeah, yeah. So it was that one, but it was funny. Yeah, but so I don't know if Donnie's talking about we're reaching with this Pride Month thing, but let's see if he thinks we're reaching when we show this. Because they always
You got to say more though, dude. Like,
they always talk about they're not grooming. There's no such thing as grooming. This is a children's book, guys. It's called Mom and Dad's Swinger Party.
Mum and Dad's swinger party.
swing a party.
My parents are swingers, just like me. And tonight they're planning a swinger party. Mum went online to find some new friends. They do it like this every weekend. It starts with a contract and a bowl full of keys. Everyone looking for unicorns. Yes, please. They watch a few movies.
Corn on the TV. You see that? You peep that? That symbology? Did you see that? Look on the TV. It's literally just a cob of corn.
How
We
can you
can't
see the top
it.
of the
Yeah,
page?
we can't see it.
You can't see it?
No,
Nah,
you can't
not
see
over here.
Oh, something's going on with the.
Yeah, you can't see it on the.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
See it now?
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
Watch. I'll play it from
Yes.
there.
They watch a few movies.
They watch a few movies. It's literally just corn on the TV.
Right.
We all know what that means.
Yes.
I just got it because I
It's
didn't know
not
before.
corn.
I know.
It's not
Oh
corn.
my gosh.
Put an E there.
It's
I mean, a
it's
P
corn.
there.
It's corn hub.
Yeah. Give balloons to the boys.
Give balloons to the boys.
Look at those balloons.
okay.
Everyone sleeps over and makes lots of noise.
Oh, and this is a children's book?
That is why every night I pray to have a swinger party.
You said,
You didn't wait for
Oh,
it.
every day I pray.
to have a swinger party for
I
my
know, because they
birthday.
don't know.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm hoping this is some kind of troll book, maybe, but it looks like a children's book.
The real books, dude, are worse than
worse.
this.
I know.
Yeah.
But I'm saying this is for
Yeah, young
little kids, like
But that's what I'm saying.
4
like,
years old.
Have you heard some of the stuff
Donnie
that
said
they've
this
written?
is crazy.
Yeah, it is. And especially at the end. Why did they have to have a little kid praying?
Because
At the end.
Satan respects
Oh
pronouns.
my gosh.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, we have this this story. I don't know if you guys heard about this. Jamie Foxx
Yeah, I heard about that.
finally came out that he was left paralyzed and blind from a blood clot.
In his brain, right?
Yeah. Which had been leaking out already from certain people that knew the family and stuff. Like, people were saying it, but it's just like all the cover up, all the lying, all the like, he's out playing pickleball right now. Oh, he's, like, it makes you wonder.
Yeah.
I'm hearing somebody's phone. I don't know whose phone that is.
Was he a big pusher on the?
No, so
I don't think
apparently
so.
the story is that he signed on to do a movie with Cameron Diaz, and he didn't want to take it, but they forced him.
Yeah.
They're still doing those mandates or whatever. for a lot of these you know, movie houses or whatever that are probably funded by
Churros.
Or big farm.
no, I was gonna
Pharma.
say Pfizer, but same thing.
Same
You
thing.
can't force somebody.
Huh?
Yeah,
I'll say that.
That's right.
Yeah, you can't.
Because you're not gonna force me.
You take them. You take the money or you don't. You take the money or you don't.
There's a lot that stood up and didn't.
Yeah.
So.
So all right, let me show y'all real quick because there's some people that are getting a little upset about the conditions that they live in over in and I'm seeing this in a bunch of different cities. We're seeing this with the Chicago. We're seeing this with in New York, right? So this is in I think San Francisco.
I understand it comes from a place of hurt. Generally, when people are being violent, on some level, in some form, it's coming from a place of hurt. Sure.
San Francisco,
But if they're
dude.
doing
San Francisco.
hundreds of gunpoint robberies, mostly to women, to people of all races, where I have lived in poverty my whole life.
Oh, you're tired of robberies, are
It
you?
makes it hard for us to keep jobs, to find jobs, to live life, to fight through mental health issues, to fight through our poverty.
Is
And
that a
it's
boy?
not just one demographic
I don't know what either of
women,
those
it's
are.
all kinds of women being targeted. This is systemic violence as well.
That's racist, ma'am.
Systemic violence.
So they're highly upset because crime is out of control. Highly upset. But I'm pretty sure they're the ones that voted for all of these policies.
Yeah, right. You keep on voting this stuff in.
They keep on, vote blue no matter who. It doesn't matter. We gotta, putting people in jail is discrimination.
Didn't they run on defund the police?
Yeah, all of
What
that.
did you think was going to happen when you got in?
This is what I'm saying.
They told them they were going to defund the police.
They didn't think property value was going to go down.
Yeah.
They didn't think the crime was going to come to them. They thought it was going to stay localized in those neighborhoods that they don't go to.
That they
You
don't
have the right to
worry
choose.
Yep.
Yeah.
I put before you life and death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
choose death.
You want to be pro-choice.
Yeah.
In the wrong way.
Well, you see, you saw them up there talking.
Yeah.
I got another woman from that same meeting.
Are you sure?
I just want to turn to the audience and ask them, who here has been assaulted, held up, or beat up? Just raise your hand.
Damn.
That's a lot of people.
Wow.
That's pretty sad. Okay. I have been held up in front of my house. I'm a fighter. I'm Irish. I don't put up with no BS. And I know that cop right there, I did Citizens Police Academy, and I did a ride-along one night, and I was appalled at how these cops were treated.
Really?
You couldn't pay, I'm a public school teacher.
I thought all cops were
That's
bad.
hard enough. But your job, you couldn't pay me enough to do that. I wrote you and your colleagues on May 20th about a shooting, don't look confused, on May 20th, about a shooting that happened, that bullet went through my neighbor's house. Not one of you responded. Not one. I'm gonna send that email again to you tonight.
That's what happens when you defund it. Like,
What do you want them to do?
I'm saying all of this. I'm going to vote for you again.
right. This is what I don't get. It's like y'all are the ones that were advocating for all of these things.
Yeah. I mean, of course, you don't want to see people go through things like this.
Yes.
But the problem is when you make choices as a whole in the wrong way, there's consequences that happen, and those are the things that suck. And when you don't want to listen to sound reason
and logic and good advice, you just call everything bigotry, everything is racist, everything is hate, everything is just put on it. My team believes this, so I have to believe that. You get what's happening in New York right now, where Eric Adams basically told people that they're going to have to take in these immigrants because we can't house them.
We're disciplined and we're executing on it. It is my vision to take the next step to this, to go to the faith-based locales, and then move to private residence. There are residents who are suffering right now because of economic challenges. They have spare rooms. They have locales, and
Trying to
if we can find a way to get over the 30-day rule and other rules that government has in its
it's
place,
technically illegal
we
for
can
him to
take
do
that
that.
Yeah.
$4.2 billion, $4.3 even maybe now.
They all standing there like, we gonna send it right to them white folks. White folks is gonna
Where
house
that
all
money
these
coming from?
immigrants.
Where that money coming from?
Exactly.
Their
Since we have
taxes
to
already
spend,
crazy.
And we can put it back in the pockets of everyday New Yorkers, everyday houses of worship, instead of putting it in the pockets of corporations.
So you want the Christians to come in and house all the immigrants that you guys said you were a sanctuary city.
You mean illegals?
Right.
Let's call them what they
Let's
are.
call them what they are. Illegal. People coming, people flooding in, you inviting them in because, again, everybody in New York, everybody in California, everybody in Portland, let them come in. Let them come in because they're thinking it
They'll
doesn't
stay in
affect me.
Texas. Yeah, they'll stay in Arizona. They'll be down there.
Again, we're seeing the same thing. Nobody, you didn't calculate.
Yeah.
You didn't count the cost you would have to pay for the choices that you made.
Right.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. This
funny.
dude posted a skit about it on Patrick Bet David posted this. It sums it all up.
Wait, I think
You saw this? It's funny.
It's funny.
You just think that anyone can come to the U.S. like
Absolutely. If you go to New York, go to the Statue of Liberty, what's it say? All is welcome.
I don't think it says that, but dude, this is great because
Definitely to say.
I just happened to pick up 3 guys from Honduras. Well, they were at Home Depot. They're from Honduras and they have nowhere to go. So this just works out perfect. Look, Hector takes medication twice a day, and right now they got to use the bathroom. All 3 of them. But
Año, por favor. Gracias.
is it cool if they stay here?
He said, gracias.
Why not?
No.
What do you mean?
I don't know them. Who are they?
All right, so they can't stay here then? It's cool if they come to the country, just not your house.
No, come on, bro. Come on.
Let's go, guys. Let's go.
Definitely a
Sorry,
skit.
man.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely a skit. But it sums it up because it's like this is the point. It's like it sounds great to say that.
Yeah, but that's how you know it's fake.
It's fake.
virtue.
It's fake. 100% fake. It's just like I remember during the protest, someone timelined one of these advocates. He needs
Carlos
to take
takes
it.
this.
Hector.
Hector, that was racist of me. It was,
But
it wasn't.
I remember during the protests, there was a guy, I forget, I think it was in Portland, where he was live tweeting during the whole thing, and he's like, "Yeah, burn it down, get out there. Property is not people. They can replace property, they can't replace people." And then like 2 hours later, he's like, "The protesters are getting pretty close to my neighborhood." And then 2 hours later, he's like, "The police need to do something about this. This is not fair. They're destroying our neighborhood." Like he just totally, he was great about it when they were tearing up everybody else's. They was in the hood tearing it up, but when they came to his private community, he was like, "Wait, let's put a stop to this."
Hold on.
Yeah.
That was like the Ukraine stuff too. I think we played it on here. You played it where they were in D.C. and the homeless guy, he brought one of the homeless guys over to a Biden supporter, and they were saying, "Yeah, we need to send more money to Ukraine." And he's like, "What about this guy right here?"
I didn't see that.
And then he was like, "Yeah, what about me? I'm hungry."
Black dude.
What about me? I'm hungry.
I'm starving.
Why are we sending money to Ukraine and we have this guy here?
Yeah.
What do you have to say about that?
Slam.
But
But all those people that are letting the people from the border, they all have gates and
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they're good.
security
Yeah,
and everything in their
Yeah.
property. But then they're letting it in.
Which
They're letting them
NBA
all in.
player was it that was like that? Wasn't it Dwayne Wade's neighborhood?
Yeah.
They were, I think it was Dwayne Wade. I don't know, never mind.
No.
know the story.
Steph Curry.
Was it Steph
yes,
Curry?
It was the
yes.
Currys.
Yep.
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 We're
that's
letting
it.
people in.
With
Where
affordable housing.
they were building
against.
affordable housing, but they were building it like right next to his.
It was all for it beforehand.
Yeah, in a town where it's like lots of rich people are. They how did he word it? He worded it like, you know, we worked hard to get to where we're at.
Subtitles.
You're
It's all away from these people.
such a hypocrite, bro.
It's
You
all
are a
good
hypocrite.
until they want to put it in your neighborhood.
It was like a mile away though. Like that was another.
It was a
thing.
mile away.
Yeah.
It was,
wasn't
but
even-
still, like,
Yeah.
Paul said the hypocrisy is tremendous.
Yeah, but you got to be able to see it.
Yep.
yeah.
Again, they voted for that.
Yep. That's why I love what DeSantis did with
I was just thinking about
sending
that.
sending them to Kamala's house, sending them to Martha's Vineyard.
Vineyard.
Them
They were
that
mad.
Martha's Vineyard's people was out there protesting. He only sent 50 people.
Yep.
They were like, "Get them out of here. We can't sustain this."
Yeah. They have lots of ideas, you know, open the borders, like the mayor of New York. Are
Yeah.
you housing them in your house?
Nope.
Dude?
No.
You know, in
Nope.
your mansion?
Yeah, I'm sure you got extra rooms in that governor's mansion.
Well, and you think about it, like, why is it illegal, and why are they coming in illegal? Because they're not citizens,
Yeah.
right? And if you think about houses, why would you not let them into your house? Because they're not a part of your family,
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
And they don't follow rules.
Well, that's the point. You
Yeah.
when you have a house, you have to have a certain type of structure, or a household literally means how you run it.
House rules.
Yeah. So in that household, those children get raised up in those same ideals.
Yeah.
And the issue is when you just letting anybody in,
Right.
they're coming in with their own ideas. So you're not upholding the Constitution. You're not upholding the laws we have.
Right.
So then what do we have? We don't have a house anymore. We don't have a household anymore.
And I think a certain Bond villain who is funding a lot of these caravans coming up, that's what he wants.
Yeah.
Right.
Stabilize it.
All right, let's get into these videos Jake sent me. So these are from a YouTube channel called Jubilee, very popular. I'm sure everybody knows about them. People react to their stuff all the time. So they always do these panels where they have people from two opposing views on one side and then on the other side. And these two opposing views are alpha males and beta males, right? Mm-hmm. And they ask them questions and then they get them to react to these questions and give their point of view. So we're gonna react to some of that. So this is a Jubilee video on alphas versus betas. Here we go.
Step forward if you agree with the prompt. Men are designed to want to sleep with multiple women.
Stephanie, an Indian lady.
Yeah, I would say I definitely agree that men, want to sleep with multiple women. I think it's natural because
Because I do, and I want to.
one of the things is because we have so much sperm that we produce so much sperm, and that makes us want to repopulate the earth basically. And so a lot of times what happens is I think that society is telling men not to do that for whatever reason, you know what I mean? And some guys fall into that, but I definitely believe that, men actually want to be with multiple women because it's just a natural thing in us. This is why you hear all the time, men always cheating and guys feel like they, trying to hide the cheating and everything like that. And if it was natural for them to just want to be with that one woman, then cheating wouldn't even be an issue.
I'm of the firm belief that it is important to position yourself as a man to have the capacity to be with as many women as you possibly can and position yourself in a way where you understand female nature and you maximize your potential as a man. And that's where I don't necessarily agree that just because there's a deeper desire to continue to do it means it's going to be the most optimal thing for you and your own ability to thrive at the highest level and connect with God here on earth.
I was taught not to be with multiple women, right? But it's like, especially, here's the thing, especially when you're in a relationship, right? It's like, it's better to grow together with somebody than multiple people, which I totally agree. But I think in the dating terms, it's like, there's nothing wrong with being multiple women because I think that's just dating. It's experimenting, it's finding other people. But are we naturally made to just always be with one person? It's like, if that were true, then these first thoughts of being with another woman, even though I'm in a committed relationship, would never occur. But it comes up once in a while. But it doesn't mean I'm acting upon it. So
And you might be being generous about saying once in a while. Probably comes up quite a bit.
it depends what kind of relationship you're in, I guess, or how good of a day it is, right? Like, but I would say for me, if it was totally natural, even though I was nurtured into only being with one woman, that these thoughts wouldn't occur then.
Right. And the thing with me, I'm not monogamous. So I have a wife, I have a girlfriend, and I still, from time to time hook up with other girls. You know what I mean? And the thing is, it feels regular to me. It doesn't feel like I'm trying to do it or doing it because I'm forcing myself. It just feels just natural, like it's something I want to do. You know what I mean? And so to not do it feels unnatural. You might just want this one woman for a relationship. I can understand that. But sexually, though, I think it's all BS.
Yeah, I agree. I think a man can absolutely be head over heels in love with a woman and still sleep with other women and it not mean anything to him.
Right.
And I think all men have the proclivity to want to sleep with other women. Now, whether they're able to speak to that and actually act on that or not, or if they've been able to, like you said, like religiously find a way to work around it. And I think religion has been great for that, because if it weren't for religion, we probably would not have society. But I think what's most important to identify is that a man should create choice in his life. And if you have choice, you should be able to do as you wish, particularly like in your case, like in my case, if there's no deceit.
Pay attention
It's
to
the
that.
lying. That, in my opinion, is actually the overall problem when
Stop
guys...
real quick. Okay, what he's saying?
Do as you
it's
wish.
It's the choice.
Yeah.
Do as you wish. Do as you will.
Mhm.
Right. And then he said, to be honest. Right.
Right.
So I think that's how we live now.
Mm-hmm.
If you're honest, it's okay.
It's
I've been
okay.
honest.
Right.
tend to go outside of a relationship. They lie to the woman. That's the problem.
So when I was growing up, I was under the belief of just being with one woman, right? Like I was a virgin for a very long time. Then one girl broke my heart. So that caused like a lot of insecurity, resentment towards the other side, right? And then I just became like a man whore for a little bit.
The problem is you have guys who are monogamous, but they're monogamous because they're forced to be monogamous. In a way, meaning that...
Ain't this guy like a YouTube red pill guy?
Probably.
Mr. Locario?
I don't know.
I feel like I've heard his name come up before.
They have no choice because they don't have the skill to attract multiple women.
And a lot of times they'll use that as virtue signaling. I would never do such a thing. Well, actually, bro, you can't.
Step forward if
Okay. Actually, bro, you can't. Those are the... It seems like all of these guys are like red pill dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
That dude in the blue suit was in the whatever podcast.
Oh, he was on there before? Okay.
He's definitely red pill.
So, thoughts? What do you think?
Yeah, what do y'all think?
I mean, I think I've said this before. I said this when we were talking about this last time. It's funny how like these dudes, especially, they will, when it comes to, they will call men weak. They will call men the P word. They will call men soft. If you can't control your urge to want to eat cake every day, if you can't control your urge to want to be lazy and play video games, if you can't control your urge to, want to sleep in, then you're soft.
Yeah.
You're not hustle. You're not a man. You're not living up to your potential, your purpose. But when it comes to that thing between your legs,
Yeah, I was gonna say
there's no control.
What about the urge?
Yeah.
To sleep around.
When it
sleep
comes
with multiple women.
you can that's you're supposed to
okay.
just go with that. You're supposed to fulfill that. Like that's just there is no discipline when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Like that. I just think that's very convenient for the one thing that you want to do. Your whole motivation for what you do is clearly like these dudes, especially like that Locario guy. Like everything that he believes in is so that he can live the life that he lives, so that he can have a girlfriend and multiple girls and a wife and still have sleep with girls from time to time and not feel any regret or moral confliction about that.
and his wife is okay with that.
Dude, there's a lot
of you have to have a wife that's okay with that.
Yeah.
To have a wife.
Yeah.
She's probably doing the same thing.
Probably.
They might be, but sometimes they're not. Sometimes some women will just accept that.
Yeah,
Like,
if women have only been cheated on their whole life, if women have
Are damaged,
accepted,
yeah.
if all they've ever seen is, that's how men are, so I might as
Right.
well accept it, right? That's how they're gonna view life.
Living comfortable.
If they don't know anything else, you accept things. If all you've ever had is somebody abusing you your whole life, you think that's what life is.
Right. And those dudes will attack anything we're saying and just call it, oh, that's blue pilled. Oh, that's you guys are betas. Like, and I think that they don't understand that, no, we are about following the principles of God. Like this guy brings up God, but there's a disconnect there. That's what I'm saying. Like if you can't see how disciplining your desire to sleep with multiple women is as important as all the other disciplines you subscribe to, then there's a disconnect there.
Well, he kind of says something like it's important to sleep with a bunch of women so you can realize how it's important to be with one woman. That's kind of like the connection to God, which is totally backwards. It's like
James made a
almost die. Like get yourself in a whole bunch of positions where you
Right.
almost die.
Not only
so
that,
you realize that your life is worth something.
how much damage do you do by sleeping with all them women.
Yeah, not only to yourself,
not
but
to
to
yourself,
others.
to them,
Yeah.
to now you're sending other people's daughters damaged out into the world to
Yeah.
try to find a husband with
Yeah.
the damage that you did to them.
Mhm.
So, and James made a great point, which we made a clip out of before, where it's like when you get into that rhythm of dating and sleeping around and breaking up, you're practicing divorce over and over and over again. You're constantly practicing that feeling of divorce, of having to have feelings for someone and then detach from them, have feelings from them and then get over it. So when it comes time to really get married and have a lifelong commitment to someone, it's easy for you to then just be like, all right, I'm ready to leave this now.
On
and
to the
look for
next.
something better.
But my question is, why even get married?
Right.
Why?
Well, when you redefine marriage,
Yeah.
that's why. Marriage is redefined, right?
But that's what a
And
lot
so
of-
it doesn't serve its purpose.
And that's why a lot of red pillars in the manosphere tell men not to get married. There's no point.
Yeah.
Yeah, my take on it is what they're saying from a worldly perspective is true. If you that the part about sleeping around women, yeah, base level men who haven't learned to control the inner man.
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna do when you submit to Christ and you're a believer. That desire is there. You control it by what you watch, by what you put in your spirit, by what you entertain. But what they're doing is a two-part thing. They need to tell those guys that, because those guys who want to fulfill their fleshly desires then tune in to come to my program, come to my alpha training course, come to buy my book, buy my seminar. So what they're saying is
$1,000
true
session for you.
From a fleshly perspective, but us, aside from someone who's not married, but we as men,
not yet.
Those desires, they're there, but we control them by the
Right.
things that we watch. Jamie and I would talk about this all the time. You know, you're more in the gym than me, but what I do is when I'm out and about, if I see a woman dressed a certain way, I intentionally walk away.
Yeah.
And I intentionally do, because I don't want my eyes, I don't want to be,
Yep.
you know what I mean? So you have to train yourself to do that.
Yep.
Just like it's the same thing. Like if you're an athlete, you train yourself to control your diet. Well, you have to train your eye. You have to train your mind. You have to train that. So if you see something that you know could trigger you,
Right,
you
we
have
talked
to-
about on if you're on Instagram and you see people
Right.
posting thirst traps.
I go further. I actually tell it, I don't want this.
Right,
I
right.
I hit
Unfollow it, too,
because
and then
it's
say,
in the
I don't want-
feed,
yeah.
You know, so they're right in the sense of that's what the
What, Mom?
Like switching the cameras.
Oh.
they're right in the fact that this is every man's desire.
Yeah.
Fleshly, a worldly man, sure, it's
Right.
true.
But see, I think that there's a way, because if you always just hit them with, but if you believe in God, you will ascend beyond that desire. I think we do have to show that no, you're not as disciplined as you think you are.
No, they're not.
Because that right there controls you.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? And for you to really be the man, the high value man that you think you are, it's not about
They're
how
not
many.
interested in talking to you.
Right, right.
If they were talking to someone like you or someone like us, we could easily say, well, are you disciplined though?
Right.
But they're interested in the incels. They're interested in
Right.
the men. That's why he made that when he said, I was hurt by a girl and I was rejected. Immediately someone is, me too.
Yeah.
And they're gonna run to
Right.
that because the people kind of congregate around pain.
Yeah. Can
So
you
that's-
teach me how to get a bunch of chicks now?
That's what they're doing,
Yeah.
you know. So, and they're in suits. You see, they're dressing
Yeah,
a certain
yeah.
way.
I
They're
saw
relatively
that.
good-looking guys. They're in
Yeah.
shape. They're, so a lot of guys who
But see, that's
feel this
that,
way.
again. Those are all disciplines that they and they wear that stuff because this is what they teach the people that
Yeah.
sign up for their
Sure.
classes. You got to dress the part. You got to work out, work on your body,
Right.
get chiseled, get in shape. I hear these talking points from them
Right,
all the
right.
time, but they never say, "Yo, stop sleeping with girls. Find a wife, start a family." Learn how to be a leader of your family. You know what I'm saying? Like provide.
Because their wisdom is demonic.
Yeah.
Right.
Their wisdom is it's selfish ambition.
Exactly.
You know, they care about only themselves, and that's what they produce.
Right.
So you start to have an environment that is actually unhealthy.
Mhm.
You know, you're creating an unhealthy environment that actually causes destruction.
Right.
Like you said, I think one of the biggest things that I saw is they kept saying nature. and I think they're right. Their nature is off,
Mhm.
right? They're saying like, well, like the Asian guy said, you know, I was nurtured this way to
Mhm.
believe that to be with one woman,
Right.
but my nature was counter to that.
Mhm.
And the other guy, he was talking about, yeah, it's just natural for you to be this way,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So you're dealing, which is true. We're dealing with our nature that is a fallen nature,
Mhm.
right? It's not the nature that we were intended to have.
Right.
It's a fallen nature. We're born into this nature.
Mhm.
We're born into sin.
Right.
But what the Asian guy is saying, there is a law and there's tradition that points back to a meaning of something.
Mhm.
So he's saying that nurture is understanding that you have to have conditions and you have to have boundaries in place. That's what creates households. That's what creates a safe environment.
Yeah.
You start to have a safe environment when boundaries come into place. Don't do this.
Right.
This isn't good here. We don't do these things. But if you don't come into the meaning of those things, you'll never have understanding.
Right.
Why you don't do these things.
Right.
And I think that's where that as a believer we get. Right.
Right.
I'm sorry.
You never come into the understanding of that. And what happens is now we got shadows of a thing that's not there no more.
Mhm.
So you're like looking at something and you see the form of it, but you don't really know what it was because all you see is a shadow or you hear the echo of it, but it's not there anymore. You understand what I'm saying? Like you're seeing a shadow of something, but it's not there anymore. Even like the law is a shadow of who God is.
Okay.
It's not really him. It's speaking of him. It's like when I speak of somebody, you kind of get a form or a shape of something, but you don't really know what it is until
Right.
you like somebody can tell you about somebody can tell you about another person, right? And you kind of get a gist of it,
Mhm.
but you actually got to go to that person. Then you start to have clarity. You start to
Mhm.
know them personally.
Mhm.
And I think that's what it's about. Like all these people are speaking from their own experiences,
Mhm.
their own desires,
Desires, right.
right? Their own desires and how they want to play this thing out. Like the guy says, "Well, I was rejected."
Mhm.
Oh, well, you're rejected, so now you act out of that rejection.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Cain. Like
Mhm.
Cain gets rejected, and God's like, "Well, you'll be accepted if you do the right thing." Well, maybe your decision, even with that one girl, was wrong in how you went about it.
Right.
You were rejected by her, but really it was to point to what were you doing wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And what were you focused on?
Right.
What type of girl were you picking? Like where was
Right.
your desire at in that too?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, part of it too is that I've heard this a lot. And as the resident National Geographic watcher here, I would say this, right? I hear the nature thing because what they're talking about is pure animalistic hedonism.
Yeah.
When they say nature, they
Yeah.
mean animals do this rapidly.
Right.
But what they don't talk about is what happens before
Right.
these males do that.
Right.
They kill each
They
other,
kill each other.
right?
They run off any other male that's a threat.
They even kill their sons. They get rid of their sons.
Yeah,
It's very violent.
it's barbaric.
Speaking of lying to pride,
Yeah.
what happens?
Yeah,
they
they-
kick out the males.
Yep.
Then the males usually join together, overthrow a male. It's violent. They
Yep.
kill each other
Yep.
over this. They never talk about that part. They talk about the sexual part.
Right.
Really, what they're referring to is when the female go into heat.
Right.
That they see that part. They see the sexual prowess of
Right.
the male.
Right.
They don't see that all the death.
Yeah.
You know, they don't
Yeah.
see that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You guys know in the fall, I don't know if you guys know this, but in the fall, the reason you see all these dead deer is because they're in the rut.
Yeah.
And they don't care. Car, truck, they're running after these females. And
Mhm.
death is abound.
Yep.
So they don't ever talk about that. They just think it's, oh, I'm going to be able to nail as much chicks as I want. They don't
Right.
talk about, oh, I have to fight 20 dudes to get to one.
Right.
If we were truly going back to nature, then that's what it would be.
They conveniently leave that
They
part
leave
out.
that part out.
Yeah, right. Right.
And they have the answers, by the way.
Right. And I think also like focusing these type of dudes on like the damage and destruction that does to society when you take part in that behavior.
Well, this all ends when they have daughters.
Right.
Once they have
right.
a daughter,
When they
once they have a daughter, hey, we gotta respect these ladies.
Yeah.
I mean, we see it with the rappers. We see
Yeah.
all the rappers that were talking this language about bees, this. Now, we gotta respect the lady.
It doesn't for them. They make it make sense to them. Like
They
for
make it
these
make
dudes.
sense to
But they don't. They tell the other young dudes at that point, like, we need to respect these women.
Yeah, the language changed.
Yeah.
My point is they become delusional. It doesn't make sense to them,
Right.
but they make it make sense to them.
Right.
Like they all do. Paul said, the whole game is rigged to shun the inner man and exalt the fallen nature. He also said the red pill has become a nihilistic ego game.
Very nihilistic.
Yeah.
They don't believe in
That
marriage
needs you
at
to
all.
come to the seminar.
Yeah, yeah.
Pay this.
Right. They all got classes and
Join
books
my
and-
Alpha 1000.
Right.
Are you an Alpha 1000 man?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Right.
Let's play the other part. I want to go into something after that.
Okay.
I remember when I would like go on tour and things like that. My friends would always try to encourage me.
Whoa.
What?
So these are the
betas.
and even that like alpha beta is like
It's a false concept.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So then these betas come in, which are the people that.
But even that is based off of the animal kingdom as well.
Exactly.
Right.
I was gonna say that when James was talking about that. Yeah. So now they're coming in to say why they don't believe that you can sleep with a bunch of women.
Okay.
I remember when I would like go on tour and things like that. My friends would always try to encourage me to like hook up with girls that were onto me, but I wasn't really like into it, and it made me feel like weird, like off, like there was something wrong with me. And now I'm at a point in my life where I feel like I'm only having sex with multiple women, so I'm not weird, so I'm quote unquote normal. I feel like even when I do have sex with these random women, it doesn't give me any gratification. And I know that comes with like random sex in the end, but I know in the back of my mind that like I just like simply don't enjoy this. Like I've been with multiple women and I've been with one woman, and being with one woman is just so peaceful. As far as like telling young men that
Bro, I'm so interesting and like so emo that even the fact that I sleep with tons of women every week, I don't enjoy it. I slay women across the world, but I truly am disgusted with myself.
they're born this way and that they should feel this way, it can really not do damage, but just sort of make you second guess things about yourself. Am I normal? Am I weird? Is there something off about me?
Yes.
Everyone else around me is saying that I have to feel this way or I have to do these things, but yet I don't feel the courage to do those things.
I would say that's not true, though. I don't think that we should promote men sleep with multiple women. I think that we should promote choice and what feels right to you. So in your particular case, I would never tell you to sleep with multiple women.
Do
I
what
think
thou
you might
wilt.
be doing the right thing to do exactly what you're doing and not do it or stop doing it. It's not about pushing it on the young men, but I'll tell you, there's a lot of young men that have a demon inside and maybe are really upset and frustrated with themselves because they feel a certain way. And it's like, oh, I'm coming out the closet. I'm straight, you know, or super straight or too straight or whatever it is. I think that it's really going to be about choice, man. So if me to you, I tell you, if that you don't feel good doing that, man, I wouldn't do it at all.
Yeah, I agree. In your situation, what was happening, and this is what I think a lot of times what happens is you have guys who will have sex with multiple women because they're trying to fill a void. So it shouldn't be about filling a void. It should be about you actually desiring. So you don't desire.
Isn't that the same thing?
Well, he's saying, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
What he's saying,
Yeah.
but he's trying to say that like you're doing it because you feel insecure, right? And you feel intimidated, and you think this is the way it's supposed to be, versus I just desire this.
Right.
I just have a question. Does that guy have a half a shirt on or something?
I think he has a blouse on, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he has a skirt.
Yeah, I think he has a dress on. He has a whole dress on under a jacket.
Yeah.
It's halfway off his shoulder.
But then he's like, people act like I'm weird because I don't want to sleep with women. I don't think it's
I don't
about
think
that.
that's why
buddy.
they say you're weird, bro.
I don't. I think there's layers. There's layers going on here. All right, let's keep going.
Is that guy? Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
Which is why you shouldn't do it. But there are guys who desire to do it, but then they're suppressing their desire, and then it's doing the same thing as you not wanting to do it. Like they feel weird about not doing it, but they want to. Whereas you felt weird.
I just want to point out the fact that they're all talking about how weird this guy feels, but we live in a world where they can all sit there and have this conversation, and no one is allowed to bring up the fact that this dude looks like a weirdo. Like no one is allowed to even speak on. Like they all have to sit there and just pretend he is totally normal. This is totally normal. Like let's talk to this dude as if he is sitting there looking totally normal, and we're having this conversation.
Yeah, I thought they were
wearing a
alphas.
dress.
Yeah.
Pointing out the obvious in the room.
Doing it, but you didn't want to.
I think it's a society thing. Like what you just said, who's making them feel guilty about not doing it? Other men. The reason, I think women and men, the question was, do you feel that men are meant to sleep with multiple women? Or they just, that's what they do. And I don't think that's true. I think it's a part of your character and who you are. I do believe that if you're going to be honest with your partner is into it, but do I believe that we are biologically meant and it's in our head because we have to procreate and this and that? I don't believe that.
So if I could stroke a check for $1 million and never feel that feeling again, I absolutely would. I really, really would. It's something that I really hated myself for, and I felt very apart. I grew up in the South Louisiana. I was a Bible Belt, and I felt very distant from people around me because I had this urge in me and could not understand why I was so different. Like, the biggest self-hate I've ever felt in my life is over this particular subject. I thought I was broken.
And I understand you. And me, again, I'm going to come back with, just being around it. And me, I'm bisexual. I've always have been. But like you heard me say, I've been married to a woman for 30 years. And I've been committed for 30 years. It doesn't that I don't have that desire. It's my character to say, this is my person, and that's who I want to be with.
So that's what making a character versus is the driver.
I was going to say.
Then that goes back to, are we just built that way? Because if we're just built that way as men, then there's multiple people that I'm going to want to sleep with.
But I think what I was under the impression with that question was, are we biologically DNA created for that? I say yes, but I love and I agree with what we're saying here. It's like, but as men, right, in the culture and awareness and being a human being, having a consciousness, choice, language, we can choose not to. We can go against those desires or urges and stuff.
If you feel that desire and you're honest with your partner, I believe that is true. Do I believe that we are biologically meant to, we just biologically want to sleep with more people because we have a penis between our legs and not a vagina? I don't. I think men and women both have urges.
Where do you think the urge is coming from, though, if it's not biologically inside of you?
I think the urge comes from, I don't think it's a biological thing. I think
temptation, not urge.
But the urge creates temptation, no?
But is temptation bad? Like you say in a way that's kind of like temptation.
No, I don't think temptation's bad. Natural. I don't think it's a thing of, then that goes back to all of us then. All of us are meant to sleep with multiple people. So then that's just a whole different society thing. But it's not just, the question was, as men, are we? And I don't think so.
But regardless, I think it's important to understand, 'cause I think we are. And if we can come to terms with that, we can begin to move past it if that's what we desire. But if we reject that idea that it's not natural, then we can't move past it if that's something that someone wants.
I remember when I was...
Okay.
I mean, it's like people are just talking in circles.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
One stance is like, well, you have to have control. But like, again, there's no God in any of this.
Right.
There's, I'll say there's shadows of it, right? There's shadows of God because some of the ideas they have come from him, right?
Yeah.
But there's no understanding. So a lot of people are just saying stuff that works for them. Like one guy says, like, temptation isn't wrong.
Yeah.
You know, like, what? Okay. Like, but where do you gauge that based off of your own experience?
Right.
Where's your standard?
Right.
How do you, so, and they kept speaking about desire. So when you look up will is the same thing as desire. Look at the etymology of it in the Old English. It means to wish, to desire. Will. When you look at it in the German, to wish, to desire. When you look at in the Greek, it's thelema, and it means to wish, to desire. Well, it comes from thelos, I think, and it means because thelema is actually the noun, right?
Yeah.
Will, your will, but to desire is thelemo, I think, or something like that. I wrote it down somewhere. But anyway, so what I'm saying is that it's interesting because what's the name of Aleister Crowley's religion?
I don't even know.
Thelema.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thelema.
Which
That's
means
right.
will. So, and we spoke about this earlier for those who weren't on yet. Aleister Crowley is an occult. He's called one of the most evil men in the world.
Right.
Right. He was an occultist. The
Yeah.
wickedest.
He called himself that.
Okay, there you go. He was around like early 1900s. Died, I think, in the 50s,
40s or 50s.
47.
Okay,
Yeah.
died in the late 40s. But he was venerated by a lot of bands, a lot of
especially
people
in the 60s during the hippie movement. Yeah.
So
way after he was gone too.
like you can look at like on the Beatles album cover,
Yeah.
he's on one of their covers along with a bunch of other people. The Doors were heavy into Aleister Crowley, and he was an occultist, like Jamie said.
A lot of people from Laurel Canyon. That's a whole nother rabbit hole.
Yeah, a lot of different artists from Laurel Canyon. Also, like Jamie said, L. Ron Hubbard,
Jack Parsons.
L. Ron Hubbard started a Scientology.
Yeah.
Right? So a lot of these people had their start in the occult.
Yeah.
So when you look at, and I'm bringing this up because a lot of people don't understand that where they get their ideas and their morals from, it's actually you got it doesn't
ties
just
back.
come.
Yeah.
It was set somewhere.
It was a spell cast
Right.
a long time ago.
Right, exactly. So these are some things that he says. So this is like one of the tenets of Thelema, which means will. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law.
Which means do what you want. Do
Right.
what you desire.
Do what you will. There is no law beyond do what you will. Love is the law under will. So basically, love is the point. Love is that law, right? And then he says, whoso denies this is something he said, whoever denies do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law, confesses that he still clings to the conflict in his own nature. He is not and does not want to be his true self. Or true to, or
and
true,
what do we hear
or
all
true
the
to
time?
himself.
The true self, true to yourself.
Right.
My truth.
So I spoke about this at church actually, but here are some sayings that we say that actually stem from the Thelema religion that are twisted to make them sound good. So think about it. We turn what is evil into good, right? You got to make it sound like it's good. So here's one.
Wizardry.
Believe in yourself, right? Be yourself. Trust yourself. Do what's in your heart. Do what you love. Be true to yourself. Live the life you've always wanted to live. Are you happy? Because your happiness should come first. You deserve to be happy. You have to love yourself. I always put others first, but now, like you hear people say this a lot, I always put others first, but now it's about me. I got to think about myself.
Right. And I would add live your truth to that list.
There you go. That's the one that's really like live your truth. That literally came from Aleister Crowley. Literally.
Yeah.
Like, so a lot of these sayings are just based off of these lies.
Right.
It's all evil.
They're stems from the same branch.
Right. And then he had stuff like he believed that magic. This is another quote from him. Magic is the science and art of causing change to occur in conformity with will. So as you will it, you're gonna see change occur.
Yeah.
And that's the art in magic. You're crafting your life. You're practicing, right? So as you practice this, you're going to see things change in your life because of your desire, your will.
Sounds like
what you wish.
manifestation.
There you go. Magic is the science of understanding oneself. So as you act out your will, which is actually you're acting out your will. As you act out your will, you're actually acting out love. You you're showing what you love, right? So I wrote this down. So the law of their heart is love, right? That's how they see it. Just how they see it in the Thelema religion. And you can see this, how it's creeped into most of our society.
Yeah.
Because if you pervert what love is, now when people say you have no love, see, that's what they hold as a moral standard. You get what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, so now people will try to push love on you, and it's not even the same love. It's a
Dude,
different type of love.
Just on that line, not a sidebar, but along those lines, and as a illustration, I was watching Jesus Revolution over the weekend with Liz, and that there's a scene in there where the boy goes to that hippie rally. He leaves the army school and goes with that girl to the Janis Joplin concert. And remember, the guy's on stage and he's like, "This is a place that's all about love. We're all about love here. No judgment." Like he's doing this whole thing, and the guy's he's looking at that like, "Wow, this is amazing. I never heard anything like this before."
Yeah.
That's during that hippie movement.
Right.
What was it? Peace and love.
Yeah. So all those ideas,
right,
occult, they
Right.
stem from that.
Yeah.
So So the law of their heart is love, because love is defined by their own will. Love is defined by whatever you will. So
desire.
now, when I see you acting out your will, I see Simone acting out his will. That's love.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's loving
Right.
himself, and then he's loving others.
Right.
Right. And so now my love is I have to let him do as he will.
Right.
Because he's acting out his love, and then if he acts out his love and I let him, now I have the right to act out my own love.
Right.
The problem is
There's
that can
no
get
limits.
real
There's no
dicey.
limits to that,
Right.
and you see the limits of where they're trying to push that, and that's
Right.
all connected to this.
That's why they say love is love.
Yep. Love is love.
Right. Exactly. Love is love. And you can't define, when you do that, you're literally defining love off of your own desire or will.
Yeah.
Right? Which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So the morals they stand by are viewed, because there are morals. There's a moral standard, right?
Right.
But their moral standard that they stand by are all viewed through this kind of love, because anyone who acts out their own desires is showing love based off of their understanding. It's how they understand themselves based off of their will, their desire,
Right.
their whatever they wish.
Right.
Right. So you see how this religion has creeped into everything.
Everything.
And you think they're saying one thing, but they're actually saying a whole different thing. So then they go to Christians and like, you got no love. And then
Yeah.
Christians are like, wait, I got love. But
Right.
they're not even speaking to you with the same vocabulary.
Right.
They're not speaking to you in the same way. Because it's about their own will. Everybody has their own will. So what did Jesus, first of all, what does God say? The heart is deceitful above all things, desperately sick. Who can understand it? Right? The Lord searches the hearts and tests the minds to give every man according to his own ways, according to the fruit of his actions, his deeds. Right? So God judges us based off of our actions. Why? Because are we in his will or our own will?
Right.
If we're in his will, then that means it's pure. When we want to know his will, we want to know who he is, right? Because truly, if you want to live out your purpose or you want to find out who you really are, it's in the will of God.
The will of God, yeah.
Right? Because he created you.
Right.
So when you deny that, you actually deny him, and you're actually fighting against him. You're actually fighting against God. What did Jesus, when the disciples asked, how should we pray? He says, our Father who is in heaven, hallowed be your name. That's first, you're first venerating or honoring him,
Right.
fearing him, being in awe of his character.
Right.
Right? Meaning, like, if you trust somebody, you might not understand everything they do, but you're going to trust them enough to believe them because of everything you've seen from them in the past, right?
Right.
And then you start to trust them. So now when things happen and it doesn't make sense to you because it's contrary to your own will and your own desires, you deny those feelings.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he says that. Then he says, your kingdom come, your will be done
Right.
on earth as it is in heaven. So we're literally giving ourselves over to the will of God.
Right.
Right. And that's a whole different thing. So this is why Jesus came in the flesh. Why did Jesus come in the flesh? He was God coming in the flesh to act out the will of the Father. Jesus came in the flesh so he could act out the will of the Father to people so they could actually see that will, right? To define love.
Right.
So that's why the only way you can truly understand love is through Jesus.
Yeah.
That's why Jesus is the door. That's
Yeah.
why Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life.
Right.
The reason why he's the way, the truth, and the life is because only through him who came in the flesh and he acted out the will of the Father can you actually understand it. You see Jesus in the flesh acting this out, but until you trust him and believe in him, you won't understand why he did what he did. So this is what we're learning. So now you have... Christianity's been around for so long. So you have these people who there's ideas that are around. That's why I said it's like a shadow. You don't really know where they came from,
Right.
but it was there. But now the thing that the shadow is the thing that was the shadow. I mean the shadow that came from the thing
Right.
is not there anymore. You're just remembering the shadow, or you might see the end of the shadow, right?
Yeah.
So you're trying to figure out what it was.
Mhm.
You don't know what it was, right? That only comes through having a relationship,
Right.
right? And knowing him personally. So then you start to understand what love is.
Yeah.
Now you can love people. You start coming into the meaning of things, the purpose for things. Now I see, oh, this is why Jamie was created. This is why women were created. This is why men were created. I
Right.
start to understand why God created things for the purpose that he created them. Without that, I have no understanding, because I want to know his will. And in his will, it's his desire. He created creation for himself. He created you. He created all of us for his desire, right? For his will.
Right.
So when you know his desire, you know your purpose. You know why you were created. And then things start to come into place, and things start to make sense. But what you're seeing is that when people have a bunch of knowledge, right? It's knowledge without fear, it's dirty. So it's just it's a mixture.
Yeah.
And now you're trying to make sense of things.
Right.
You can't make sense of mixture.
Yeah.
It's all messed up.
Right.
Like, how do you make sense of that without the one who created it?
Right. You put a bunch of stuff in the blender, there's no separating it.
Nah.
Yeah.
They're saying be fruitful and multiply with all the women.
But I do think that, you know, what you're saying about the will, when you are fully submitted to your own will, and you're fully giving yourself over to your own will and your own desires, that's full on giving yourself over to sin and separation from God completely. And that's when he gives you over to the reprobate mind. You know what I mean?
And that's even connected to, like, you can't serve two masters or lords, right? You can't serve God and mammon, right? What that's connected to money and the love of money. So
Right.
that's a desire.
Yeah.
A lot of these people have they have their own ambition. They want to, why do they need money? So they can show themselves as something, right? So they can prove themselves. Same thing with Cain. Cain killed Abel to prove himself.
right.
He needed to get out the thing that was shedding light on him as rejected. Once he got rid of it, he felt like he was accepted, right? God said to him, you better be careful, because sin is crouching at your door. It's trying to come in, but you can overcome it, right? But you got to know that I accept you. You got to have to have that hope. The moment you don't have that hope anymore, you start to believe in yourself. You know, that's another, believe in yourself, right? If we believe in ourselves, then we're not believing in God. You can't believe in God and believe in yourself. You have to believe in God or believe in yourself. You know, you can't trust yourself and trust God.
Yeah.
So you can't serve two masters. So what's happening is we think we're serving ourselves, but we're actually serving the one who started it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're serving the devil.
Brendan said, "Hey guys, what are we talking about?"
He said that before, like right at the beginning.
Oh, okay. Paul Horner said cacophony. I don't know what that refers to, but then he said, professing themselves to be wise, they became fools.
Yeah.
And you see that with the red pill a lot. You see that with the red pill a lot. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up there though. That was really, really good. Is there much more?
I mean, the other one was about submission, but we don't have
I think
do
we
that.
got to
I think that was the main part.
Meat
It
of
was
it
like,
all.
we had to talk about.
I mean, the way you tied that all back to Aleister Crowley and the cult of Thelema, like, dude, I never even thought of it that way. That was dope.
But I think, like, this is the culture that we let in.
But it was funny thing is, like, we always say that, like, yo, it's a cult. It's a cult. It really is. It really is, man.
Yeah.
It really is. So, you know, we got to fight back against it. That's why we're doing That's why we're doing these streams, y'all. That's why we're talking about this stuff. That's why we're trying to expose this stuff. So if you think that this is something that you want to support and be a part of, make sure you guys go over to the Patreon, patreon.com/youngliontv. Sign up to become a member. And don't forget to go to the merch store, cop a Young Lion shirt or hat or mug or whatever you want to get over there on the merch store, and just to signify that you're part of the pride, and wear that proudly wherever you go. We're trying to change culture, man. We're trying to change these ideas. We're trying to change communities, change families, and really raise up a kingdom of God in this world to change a lot of this stuff, man. Shout out to Paul, Emma, Brendan, Theris, Courtney, all the people, all the young lions in the chat who are supporting us and chiming in and joining in on the conversation. It really means so much to us when you guys become a part of the conversation. Thank you guys for watching on Rumble, on Twitter, on Twitch, on YouTube. Make sure you guys check us out again next week. Don't forget, also, we have new music out called Release. We got another song called Open coming out July 7th, and we got a show on June 16th, Friday, 6 p.m. in Woodbury, New Jersey. It is a free music festival. Come out and see us live. But we appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Young lion, go live, yeah. Young lion, you rich, yeah. This king.